Hey, it's Dave. Welcome back to my channel. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. It is Christmas Eve, and maybe you're watching this Christmas Eve, maybe you're watching this Christmas Day, or maybe you're watching this another time. Either way, it is Christmas of 2018, Christmas Eve. And I did a podcast this morning, which won't go up till either later tonight or tomorrow. And that was with John, who I do my podcast with. And we were talking about, and I showed him, my guitar is finally back from the shop. This is quickly becoming my main guitar. I effing love it. Everything about it. So I'm going to show it again and talk a little bit about it, and probably talk about why I could never see myself really buying a Fender Strat or Telly or any knockoff brand anymore when I could just make it using parts guitars. So this body, somebody relicked it and made it like satin black. I thought they did an excellent job. Just it's very conservative relicking. And I got it for $140 on eBay. And everything was great. It fit. It was a Mexican body. Fits the neck pocket fine. So I bought this Warmoth neck that put a 12th fret skull and crossbones on it with a reverse headstock. I had a trophy shop here locally put the Fender Stratocaster lasered in there. I have the vintage style tuners. And as you can see from the back shape of this neck, this is a very hard V-neck. This is called a Clapton V profile on Warmoth. The pickguard is from Pro Steel Pickguards out of Australia, which I absolutely love. And I couldn't get the guitar to stay in tune, so I brought it to Wolf in Boston for all the local Boston guys. Everybody knows Wolf. Everybody knows Wolf. And Wolf put this MANN, M-A-N-N made bridge, which is like a PRS style tremolo in it, which really solved that problem because it stays in great tune, as you saw. And I had him scallop the upper frets here, just like little finger, just for the first, second, and a little bit of the third string. Not really. Doesn't really affect the third string, but really just helps me get into dig on the first and second. I've done that to quite a few of my guitars now, and I really love it. The pickups is a DiMarzio Fred. I always forget what I have here. One of these is a Virtual Vintage 2.2, which I think is the middle pickup. And the neck pickup is an HS2. I love the pickups, the electronics. I used this the other night in a gig. Feels great. It's a little on the heavy side, but at the same time, I just love it. It's a... It just feels fucking great. So, you know, I talk about, you know, going out and spending crazy money you can spend on, like, let's say a John Suhr or a Fender custom shop, when really you can just go out and get the appointments made. I mean, if you made it completely all with Warmoth parts, and then you could find the hardware that you like and everything else, the pickups you like, and you'd really be roughly somewhere in like the $1,400 with a hard shell case. $1,400 as for a USA instrument, you know, and then if you took it to a guy to have certain things done to it, but with stainless steel frets, jumbos, I really just don't see myself ever picking up a Fender and saying, oh, I gotta have this. It just ain't happening. I really think that, you know, now, I'm a picky bastard. I hate small C-necks. Years ago, I was playing with a guy, as people know here, I used to work at West LA Music in West LA. And there was a guy who we call Kovar. And Kovar and I did this gig. And it was 4 hours outside playing a barbecue. And his fingers and his hand was killing him. And I was like, the first time after an hour of playing when my hand wasn't going to fall off, I was like, and I was playing a V-neck for the first time. And I was like, my God, my hand just is not tired on this. So I switched from that point on. That happened to be like around 2006 or 7. And since then, I've never looked back. I've just played V-necks. And so I'm very picky when it comes to necks. So like it's very hard for me to find an instrument. So like for the Fenders that I like, you know, it's like you're looking at a 56 custom shop, which again is a 21 fret, which I prefer the 22. So it's like I can never be happy until, you know, you can call a company like Warmoth. And there's something about it that when it's, you know, it may not have a lot of resale value, so you can't like turn around and go, oh, I'm going to get something else. It's once you play it, it's like, wait, why would I want to play anything else? And I have a bunch, as you can see, a bunch of cases. I have a B-Bender Telly, which, you know, obviously has its place, which I swapped the neck with a big fat neck from Warmoth. And I have a G&L with a big fat V-neck, which is beautiful, a G&L ASAT. And the G&L ASAT, if you get a custom-made 22 fret V-neck, stainless steel frets, for me, it's almost a perfect instrument. I wish the frets were jumbo, but that's another story altogether. But they still make, for the price, and for what they do, G&L's ASAT is a fantastic instrument. If you're in the market for a Telly, I'd say that's the one to go with, personally. G&L in no way pays me to tell you that or anything like that. This is just all my personal opinion. I think, like, the Fender custom shop, if money doesn't seem to be a big issue with you, I would say go out and check out the 51 Nocaster, whether it's all black or the butterscotch. Those are really fine playing instruments. Again, 21 frets, so you are getting that more of that vintage thing. They do have a 9.5 radius, whereas on the G&L you can get a regular 12 radius, which I happen to prefer. This here is a compound 10 to 16 radius. Somebody once commented, because I made a video about the PRS, and I was like, and it's a 7.25 radius, and someone was like, Stevie Ray played a 7.25 radius. Well, who gives a shit? Who cares what he played? I don't give a shit what he plays. I don't care what picks or strings he uses. I don't care what neck he likes to play. I don't like to play it. It's doing more work. I just don't see it being, you know, that big of a deal. Do I think he's the greatest blues player that ever lived? I don't know. I don't care. Billy Gibbons is great. He plays with sevens. I'd rather listen to Blue Jean Blues more than I would ever want to hear anything by Stevie Ray. And that's not to say I don't really like Stevie Ray, because I really do think he's a fantastic player, but I don't care. It doesn't matter what you want to use or who used what. It doesn't matter. It's what you use and what you feel comfortable. So most modern instruments in the Fender style now use a 9.5 radius or higher. That's why I was making the comment about PRS going back to a 7.25. Also, PRS's signature thing is having a 10-inch radius. That was their style. It would be like if Gibson were all of a sudden to make a 9.5 radius. You would just say, why? Why would you make a rounder, inferior radius when you've always made a 12? That was my point for that. But sometimes I think people comment because they like to see their name show up and like, oh, look, I made a comment. Yeah, you might have been better off keeping your mouth shut. Anyways. By the way, I just bought this CD. The Hot Chick soundtrack. I got to tell you, the greatest tune is Stick 'Em by Liquid Todd and Dr. Luke. What is it? Dr. Luke. Absolutely kills me. In fact, I'll fade out to that today. That's going to be my Christmas day off from what have I been using lately? Walona, and I always have the Richard Christie. For those who don't know, if you watch my videos and you hear, "You're right on target," that's Richard Christie from Howard Stern Show. He was the drummer in a few metal bands. He was in, what's that band called? They're out of Florida there. Iced Earth. He was the drummer for Iced Earth for a while. And he's insane. And he makes some great prank calls on Stern, and it gives me lots of joy listening to him. So I put that at the end. You can hear, in one of the clips, you can hear I kept Robbins laughing for a second. So if you didn't know what that was, that's what that is. Anyways, listen, I just want to thank everybody for supporting the channel and for watching and for liking. If you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. You can like, you can follow my Dave's Guitar channel page on Facebook by just clicking follow on that. You can follow me on Twitter at The Big Angry, although I don't really go on Twitter that much these days. I just find it to be, I don't know, not my thing lately. There's some funny things on there, but not lately. It's just all, it's too political these days, and I'm just annoyed with it all. There used to be a day where people used to have their politics and people would respect it and be like, hey, that's cool, whatever you know, everyone thinks there's a different way to skin a cat. Now it's like, you're an asshole because it's like, all right, we've had enough of that. Let's see. I still am looking for that Christmas gift for myself. I wanted to get the JCM 900 Mark III amp, still looking. Some people are like, some guy, the last thing is on eBay, somebody posted one. He's just asking way too much in shipping because he's selling it with this old head. Just sell me the head. Ship the head for $50. Don't charge $150 to ship it, whatever. So, I don't know. We'll see where that goes. And again, I hope you have a great holiday. And as always, very good.